Hello, everybody, and welcome back to M&J Games. I am Michael, and as you can see, we're on the final episode of RMC and Wildcat. And one thing that I've just been thinking about is this: I'm really happy with everything except this first part. And when I put on the YouTube channel asking a question, what type of first drop do you think that RMC will make? That was after I'd already made this, and I do like this turnaround section right here, how this looks. But I just don't like the fact that it's actually going like they would have to create new footers, new supports, and all this stuff. It's usually, I could be wrong, but based off what I've seen, RMC likes to follow the exact same layout or path system that the wooden coaster follows. So, also looking at, I think there would be like a road here or something. Looking at Google Maps, I don't have it pulled up in front of me right now. But yeah, so let's see. So what we're going to try to do is see if we can get this first drop to be a little bit better. And if not, then I'm totally content to leaving it like this. But let's give it a try. So what we're going to do here is we're going to delete this. Let's see. So now we need to do another one of these little kind of awkward banks and so forth. Oh, you know what? That might not make it now. Actually, you know what? It will, because here's what we're going to do. I just had a great idea. That's going to go over the lift hill. All right. Hey, we're pretty darn close right there. All right. Now the question is this coaster going to have enough speed for all of this? That's what I'm a little worried about. So now we're going to try to turn it out. Okay, so let's try to shift this down even more. Oh, now I can't. Let's see. Actually, you know what? Because RMC has not done one of these turns like this before. Now, they had something, and one thing that Eric pointed out to me was they had something similar on the Joker at Six Flags. I forget what the name of that one is. I know the abbreviations are KD. But the issue is, oh, DK, Discovery Kingdom. That's it, not KD. That's um, King's Dominion. Let's see. Let's see if it actually finishes the layout. Okay, it's gonna get there. Okay. But now let's look at the heat maps. Let's make sure the heat map is okay at the bottom here. Okay, so we gotta find a way to stretch that out a little bit. Let's see, let's do... I mean, a little bit higher than I want. Okay, so let's see, what if we... I just don't know how realistic of a look that is for RMC. Then again, we haven't seen anything like this, so... So it's not like that's the most intense drop. Let me go back to where I had it a second ago. So that's a little bit more intense of a drop. So what if we raise this up a little bit, though? Now, for the sake of watching this POV of it, let's delete this coaster. And I do honestly like building coasters now without these supports, because I think it just gives you a better look and a feel of actually looking at the coaster and what it offers. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like this is a coaster that's gonna, like, it's got a couple of weird little quirks if you're riding it and you kind of look at the shaping of the track, like right here. I feel like that's just something that's gonna happen with this coaster. To make sure that that's as smooth as can be. So, like, I kind of like some of the little differences with than what you'd see on like a normal RMC. Yeah, so I think that was really smooth. I think this was smooth as well, but let me just one more pass of smoothing. Let's see what the... I mean, 4.18. I mean, that's not terrible. I mean, the Gigaforces now pull 4 plus Gs at the bottom of their first hill. Let's see. So this looks like it's pretty shallow of a... Yeah. So I think I'm maybe going to ask an opinion on the community page because I'm torn between the two. Which ones do we like more? Which, by the way, I just accidentally... While I was smoothing that out, I deleted the coaster. Let's see. There we go. There's the coaster back. Okay, just to make sure. All right, so I'm going to post on the community page and see what the results are. So I have now looked at the responses and feedback on the community post, and this option is going bye-bye. I do honestly like the turn here and how this looks, but let's be real. This isn't going to... RMC's not going to do this, because if RMC's RMCing a wooden coaster and parks wanted to be a cheaper option, they're going to use the current supports from that wooden coaster as much as possible, and at least the footers and foundations and everything. So they're going to keep all of these roughly the same so they don't have to replace anything. So that's going bye-bye. And let's load up the other option. So there's just a couple things that I want to change on here before we have the final layout done. And we're going to take a ride on this coaster with the wooden coaster underneath it. And the reason is so you can kind of see how I feel like that I've done a fairly good job of keeping it within the kind of confines of the track of the wooden coaster. So I'm not completely sold on the shaping of this top portion here. I mean, it's not bad, but I almost feel like it's a little too narrow. I don't know. But one thing I wanted to look at is I feel like this part here is a little bit too low to the ground, so it kind of takes it a little bit too quick. So I'm just going to raise that up a little bit. And we don't care about that wooden coaster because we're not... Don't worry about that. So now let's smooth this out a bit. Oh, the joys of smoothing in Planet Coaster. And I think I said this before, but one thing I do like about how this turned out is there's some parts that have a little bit of strange kind of shaping to it as you're about to kind of like cross that point on the coaster. But I think that's one thing that's really cool about RMCs and some of the newer Vekomas and just the newer coasters in general is there's sometimes where you look at it and you're like, that shaping looks a little strange, but it's as smooth as can be. And so I think there are a couple areas of that, and I'm happy how that turned out. Like one of them I think is kind of right here, how you can see how that part looks just a little bit. And definitely once you go through the roll over here, which you can't really see it now, but it's just kind of, it's just interesting shaping, but I think it definitely works. So let's pause that so that we can hop on this thing once we smooth one more round. All right. Actually, we'll let that thing play through so we can go on the next round. You know what? That might have some... I wonder if the laterals are a little bit too much right there. So let's see. Like, I feel like that would need to have that kind of shape to it. Just simply because if it's not turned out like that, with the speed that's going, I feel like it's going to cause too many laterals, and therefore it's just not going to be comfortable for the rider. Oh, you know what? One more thing to smooth out before we have this test is let's smooth out this entrance part. And I will be posting a video that's just a singular video over this where I'll kind of show the initial Wildcat. I'll then show the new one right here and then show them kind of overlaid. So one thing that I actually wanted to look at here, because this kind of, the way this banks, it's already banking a little bit right. So what if instead we bank this that way? Because then you kind of get the going different directions, which RMC loves to do. They love to have all these airtime hills. So let's smooth it one more time. Thing that I like about doing 3 pieces too instead of 4 is on 3 pieces, I feel like it always moves it to the next one. It's like, for example, let's look at 4. So let's say we do this in 4. Okay, well, that time it moved it to the right one, but then see there, it kind of moves it up too. So I mean, it just depends. So, and then we'll eventually turn all the supports on. We'll do that once we delete the other coaster. Like I said, the reason we just have this other coaster here is so that you can see how it looks in terms of how it's how closely it follows the other layout. So I tried to keep it above or below it as much as possible. Now, I will say the one thing I probably should have done, though, is I probably should have kept it closer to the height of the wooden coaster, because usually RMC tries to keep it around the same height as well, at least for the most part. But I'm really happy with how this turned out, so I'm excited to hear your thoughts as well. You know, did we change the friction on this? Let's go back to normal and see. Because the only thing I'm not as happy with, I feel like it just snaps right into this. Like that might be too much. Let's see if we can try to alleviate some of that by, if we try to smooth this out more, maybe it starts the inversion a little bit sooner. I wonder if you guys agree or disagree. It feels like it just kind of snapped a little bit too much when you get to the top there. Okay, it's starting to curve a little bit earlier, so let's see. There we go. I'm happy with it. That definitely works. So it doesn't snap as much into that. So that's really cool. So now we are going to officially delete Wildcat. So bye bye Wildcat, and hello to the RMC. Which now I got to figure out what to name this thing. Let's do track supports on. Now the issue that we're going to come across here is I wanted to custom support this. But the issue with that, and this is a sincere issue, is that we've got a curved turn. RMC always does their custom supporting when you got a straight drop. Because how are you going to create those kind of steel scaffold supports and continue that for this main drop here? Like, what's the plan for that? So I think if with having this curved drop, I don't think we can do the custom supports, because I just wouldn't know how to make that look. So let's see. Oh, why did I do that? Dang it. I hate how sometimes when you click on track pieces that are, let's just say they are different, like you do a break block section and a normal piece of track, it doesn't allow you to have all the options. Oh no, dang it, I did it again. Alright. Come on, Michael, you're better than that. I'm trying to think of what that quote's from now, but it's oh, How I Met Your Mother. I think it's a Barney quote from How I Met Your Mother. There we go. Nope. So now here. There we go. Now, coloring. A couple different options were suggested, and let me look those up right now because I want to do something different than red, because I think sometimes I just automatically leave it red, and it's like, yeah, we don't want it to be obviously Steel Vengeance or one of those types. So if I'm pulling up the community tab right now, let's see I think, yeah, so I heard somebody said purple. I think that was Coaster Creation TV. So let's look at making this purple. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So if we do that, I feel like that's a little bit too dark. Then that's too light. So if we keep it like, so we got purple as that option. We've got this violet or orchid type. But now let's go purple. Yeah. So now if we look at these steel bars, trying to think what could. Oh no. Guys, I'm terrible at matching colors, so I'm like, what goes with purple? But I mean, that's like steel beams, so I think that works because it's a little bit darker, but it's not too dark because it's better than that. So that's pretty good. And then here, if we look at the wood, why is it? There we go. Oh, that's that support. Hold on. Let's see. Kind of like that, where it's a little bit lighter of wood, almost like a gray, instead of that dark brown. So I kind of like that option. Wait, what am I doing? Hold on. There we go. Yep. So those are the colors for that. Now we got to think about the train colors. So with the car, the black portions, and I always forget sometimes with these what represents what parts. There's a lot of options here. Ooh, no, that's maybe, yeah, we'll just go black on that part. This part, let's go with that kind of brown. Then this black portion, what part is that? I feel like, what if we made that like a darker gray, and this part that's red, we turn that to, actually, you know what, let's do, what if that's the darker gray, and this part is purple. That's not terrible. Where's the blue? I'm trying to think where, not the blue. Blue, that's not blue. The orange. Oh, that's that part right there. We're gonna turn that purple. There we go. There we go. There we go. So just so that we can kind of get an idea of this, if, let's see, your creations. No, I've saved it. Where in the world did I put Wildcat? Well, I'm going to have to re-download from the workshop if all of a sudden I can't find it and I'd accidentally deleted it. Well, let me do that real quick. Hold on a second. Yeah, so now let's see if it is downloaded already from the Frontier Workshop. Of course. Oh, there it is. Wildcat Hershey part. So if you can see here, I know it's kind of hard to tell, but this is pretty darn close in terms of it being essentially the same layout. So I'm really happy with this. You know, it might not be perfect, but overall I am happy with how most of it turned out. Like, I know the first drop was a little bit not quite the same, but it's kind of hard to get the shaping the exact same for it, especially with kind of the speed that it was taking. But overall, like I said, really, really, really happy with it. And so I'd love to hear your feedback. And if you are on PlayStation, this will be available for you to download, as the link will be in the workshop below. Or the link will be in the workshop below. The link to the workshop page will be in the description below. There we go, Michael. Now you can talk. But yeah, so let's go ahead and end this with an actual coaster POV now that everything is officially done. Actually, one more thing to do, because once I did the coaster POV, I realized I just didn't like the shaping of the top part of the lift hill. So I'm working on it, and I forgot to turn my mic on. So I'm having to do voiceover on this now, so you can see me trying to kind of have more of a natural kind of leveling out instead of it being so drastic. And then connecting it there. So overall, really am really happy with how this has turned out. Because this is my first time trying to take a wooden coaster and RMC in it. Next time I would like to do it with, like, trying to make it seem more realistic in terms of replacing like bits of track as you go and stuff like that. I just never done anything like this before, but it's actually a lot of fun to try to create a layout that like was still within the like followed the layout of the wooden coaster, and I feel like I made the layout pretty quick. Like that's normally how it goes. Is once I get started building something, and kind of get the layout started, I feel like I'm able to actually put it together pretty quick. You can see me here adjusting the angle of it as well, just because I felt like it wasn't quite banked enough for how much it's turning. So then just going through and smoothing it out a little bit. You know, that's how we spend half of our life making coasters in this game, is smoothing it out. But at least we're not doing the 4-meter method, because that would take up too much time of my life. Way too much. So this is where we are going to end the video and look at a POV, because the rest of this is just smoothing for just a couple minutes. And so I want to thank you guys so much for all the support. So make sure to hit the like button, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're not already, and stay tuned for later this week, I believe, where there will be a POV kind of comparing the two, the original Wildcat and the RMC. So let me know what your thoughts are. How do you think this turned out and everything? And enjoy the POV and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.